Pop Culture with Pat is back with a new movie review. Most excellent.
Would you be willing to train all of this?
Hey guys, welcome back to Pop Culture with Pat. Hey guys, welcome back to Pop Culture with Pat. Today we are talking about Bill and Ted Face the Music. Yes, the third movie in the franchise. It's been about 30 years since the last film, which is pretty crazy. And this movie, kind of picks up basically where the last two, left off, where Bill and Ted, they are still trying to write the song that's going to unite humanity. But this time around, the stakes are a little bit higher because they're running out of time, and if they don't write that song soon, it's actually just going to totally wipe out existence as we know it. So the plot for this film, it's nothing too crazy, too complicated. Basically, like I said, picking up where the last two movies left off. It's crazy to think that it's been 30 years since the last movie in this franchise, and a lot of times when you have, movie franchises like that where there's, a sequel that takes a long time, like 10 plus years to come out, a lot of times those sequels are kind of at best. So that was definitely something I was excited to see. I've never been like a huge Bill and Ted fan, but was definitely curious to see how this was going to play out, just where it's been so long since the last one. We'll go ahead and just start off, with the things that I did like about this movie. So first off, just as far as the characters, Bill and Ted, Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter, they both do a great job, I think, of jumping back into these characters, especially where it's been so long since the last time they played them, and especially with Keanu Reeves, where he's done a bunch of stuff since those films, have come out. So for the most part, I thought that they fit, right back into these characters pretty seamlessly. And, it was funny getting to see them kind of go back, in time and see or go in the future, I should say, sorry, and see their future selves and kind of arguing with them throughout the film. I thought that was pretty funny. And, they're up to their old shenanigans as they were in the previous movies. I also really liked their daughters in this movie, played by Bridget Lundy-Paine, I believe I'm saying that right, and Samara Weaving, which she is quickly becoming one of my favorite actresses, right now. She just seems to be popping up in everything, was really solid in Ready or Not, even though I wasn't a huge fan of the film. I know a lot of people were, and Babysitter and stuff like that. She's just kind of popping up everywhere, it seems. Now she's in Bill and Ted. And I thought, both of them, they did a really good job, just kind of taking on those personality traits of our two main characters. And it was fun because they kind of go on their own separate journey, and they go to the past to recruit these musicians to help their fathers write this song. And it was pretty cool. I know some people might not like this, but I honestly wouldn't mind getting to see them do almost their own movie and maybe have Bill and Ted, kind of show up for smaller parts in it. I honestly wouldn't mind because I really enjoyed these characters and I thought they were really cool additions to the movie and to this franchise. And again, when you have a movie that the sequel, it's been 10 plus years and you're introducing new characters, a lot of times that doesn't really work. So that's definitely a big plus that these girls, they knocked it out of the park, I thought, with their performances. I also thought, for the most part, that the film, was handled with care. It really sucks that it kind of is coming out during this time with a pandemic and everything like that, after taking so long for this movie to come out. But you can see that this was something that everyone kind of was passionate about. Sure, there definitely is some instances where it's you can tell they didn't have the biggest budget to work with, and not all the comedy hit, but for the most part, I thought it did. The jokes were pretty funny. And there was kind of revisiting some of the previous two films. So I think big fans of the franchise and those two movies will really appreciate this movie for the most part. Like I said, there was just some jokes and stuff that didn't always 100% hit for me. But I thought overall it was something that I did enjoy. And as far as negatives, like I kind of said, it wasn't something that was perfect by no means. Not all the jokes landed 100% of the time. There wasn't really any moments that I was dying laughing. So I would say it doesn't stack up quite to the other, the previous two films, but I think it's a solid addition. It's cool to see these characters back. We get a couple new characters with the daughters. We get Death back as well, and he was pretty funny, even though he has a small, kind of smaller role like in this movie. As far as like the negatives, there's like a robot that's introduced in the movie, and I thought like his character was kind of like lame for the most part. I could have dealt without that. And they have like this kind of subplot with their wives that was kind of like, we didn't really, I feel like, need that in the movie. Overall, I had a pretty good time with this movie. It was something that was, definitely was enjoyable. Wasn't anything that was like amazing, and I feel like it doesn't stack up to like the first two movies. It's also something I feel you don't necessarily have to watch like the first two, and you can still like enjoy this movie. But there are some references and stuff that if you are like big Bill and Ted fans, that I think that you'll probably appreciate the film a lot more. So overall, I would say as far as the score goes, I would give this movie a 7 out of 10. I would say definitely, check it out, especially if you're a big Bill and Ted fan. Even if you're not, I think it's a good time. It's not too long or anything like that, and it doesn't really feel like too draggy at any points or anything. So. But let me know if you guys have seen this movie. Did you watch it from home? That's what I actually ended up doing, just because there was a couple films that actually like came out. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to watch this from home instead of going to the theaters. Or did you see it in the theaters? Definitely let me know down below in the comments. And as always, guys, if you are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button as well as the bell button next to it. That way you do get notifications for all my new videos. Really appreciate it. Really helps up the channel. Hit that thumbs up on the video as well, because that helps out with the YouTube algorithm where my channel is smaller. It really makes it hard sometimes for some of those videos to get out there to more people. So if you could do that, I'd really appreciate it. And as always, guys, make sure to check back for more Pop Culture with Pat.